What is the worst thing a doctor has ever said to you due to a service failure? You guys need to get your shit together before I take all my business from you and give it to somebody else.
Afterwards, he reprimanded me, gave me a lecture for about 15 minutes about how important it is to be prepared.
That he wasn't willing to continue to support a company or rep that doesn't support him.
You're done. Come talk to me in July.
I did not do right for my patients.
There's 15 other companies that want this business just as bad as you, and all it takes is one more thing like this for me to flip all my business.
He told me that he, quote unquote, should have called Arthrex because they would have brought the right stuff to the right facility.
And so multiple sales calls later, I haven't been able to get another case out of him because he had moved on and that person has made them happy.
He looked at me and he goes, "Why do you reps come so ill prepared?"
If it happens again, Mike, I'm just going to have to find somebody else to use.
A doctor stopped using my ankle fracture system who does probably 30 to 40 ankle fractures a year because there were clamps missing in his sets.
And it's not really so much what they say, but what their body language is when they turn around and kind of look at you, wondering why the stuff isn't there.
You guys suck, and I can't use you anymore because you don't have enough plates or you don't have enough screws.
I've had doctors stop using the phalanx tray because there weren't reamers in the set.
I'm never going to use you guys again. I'm not going to use you until your hub kind of figures out what's going on, and until then I will use someone else, and let me know when things have been sorted out.
He told me to never call on him again. He was never going to use Right Medical for anything, and we haven't heard from him since.
So they're very particular, and there's really not a lot of margin for error.
It's kind of funny that I waited until today, the 31st, to film this video. I don't know if I jinxed myself or not, but we basically just had a massive operations F-up this morning. To make a long story short, we had a triple arthrodesis booked with Dr. Dave Dahlstrom at UCSD, and the trays were delivered to the wrong facility on the UCSD campus.
There's always been little things, things not in trays, delivered wrong.
It's more so the little things as having the right K-wires in the right spot, screws being where they need to be.
Missing implants from implant bins, not properly checking them. Instrumentation within the trays. We're missing specific instruments, late deliveries, poor communication with sterile processing staff, lack of response to text and email in a timely fashion.
We had a total ankle case, and the hub did not have the size 3 tailor dome implant in the tote. When I got to the hospital, I was pulling the implants, didn't find it. I had to run down to the room to tell him not to bring the patient back, and then I had to talk with the physician and make him aware that I didn't have the implant that he needed, and it was going to be over an hour before the hub could get us the implant, so he chose to cancel the case and reschedule for a later date.
We had sent a G-force, and the implants that were in there, they were all expired.
We were doing an isoplate case. There were no drivers in the set, and it wasn't noticed until the patient was already under and we were already doing the procedure.
Had a new surgeon that doesn't use us for anything. Want to try the new anterior ankle fusion plate. Get to the case, open the tray, and we don't have any 3/5 locking screws, which you have to have to use that particular plate.
We had a new driver that was delivering sets and filled out the paperwork wrong. Therefore, the hospital didn't know that the sets were to be wrapped for a case and didn't get wrapped.
As some trays that were for a specific case didn't actually get delivered. We needed those implants, we didn't have them, and so we lost a really big surgeon for us for quite some time.
This guy was a growth guy for me. I estimated he'd be a $6,000 to $10,000 guy for me, and that's 4 or 5% of my quota.
If it means that, reps have to go back to delivering their own trays in order for mistakes like this to not happen, then I'm all for it.
When have they saved me? They save me all the time.
My hub saves me every day.
They have saved me on many incidences as well. They've delivered last-minute implants that had fell off the FOMS list, and
The hub has saved us many times, especially when we forget to put something in and we remembered and they rush to help us out.
Getting to a surgery and a doctor asking for something extra that they weren't thinking of 2 or 3 days before, and the hub, comes through, tremendous amount of times.
We were doing a standard instrumentation in-bone, and the hospital had scheduled it as a right in-bone, so we sent just right implants, and I got to the hospital that morning, and we were getting ready to start in about 15 minutes, and I found out that it was a left. I immediately called the hub, let them know what was going on, and they rushed up the implants. We got it there, and it took about 40 minutes, but by the time we needed those implants, they were there. The doctor didn't know what was happening, and we were able to save the day.
An example would even be today when my hub specialist had ordered an extra 160 Salvation 2 frame for me last week that I did not think I needed, and I ended up needing it today.
The day of the case, the physician decided that he wanted to do a TTC fusion with a Valor hindfoot nail. So I had to get a hold of the hub and find out if we had the necessary implants and instruments to do the case. Luckily enough, we did, and was able to coordinate with them, getting everything over to the hospital, sterilized and everything ready to go for the case that day.
Surgeon doesn't typically use us, but he was willing to give it a shot, and I didn't find out until about 4:30 that afternoon. The case was at 7 a.m. the next day, so we had to get the set there that night. Rachel was able to find everything. Because it was a first-time case, I wanted all the plates and stuff there. She was able to round all of that up and deliver the set at 8 o'clock at night. So,
they're dropping things earlier. They're getting things to me last minute. But at the end of the day, they're on call just like I am, right? We have a call number, and that's their job. When I need things to sell things, I expect them to be able to do it.
The ideal hub partner would be someone that communicates really well and just keeps me up to date with what is needed still for cases, and someone that has a positive attitude, someone that's wanting to work together and not against you.
So when mistakes happen, to have a hub partner that takes ownership, figures out why that happened, and then how they're going to fix that in the future.
We need somebody who's reliable and who answers their phone and communicates quickly, so that we're not waiting.
Attention to detail and recognizes the weight of the situation.
The hub team, the operations side, they think they're going to get fired all the time if they, add a heart-shaped distractor into every Darko set. I've asked for notes to be put on the board. If I forget something, please help me out,
They see something, like if we enter something incorrectly in FOMS and they notice it, that they bring it to our attention, and that they're paying attention to those sorts of things. If a doctor does surgery at a certain facility and we put in a different one, they call us right away and say, "Are you sure you meant that one? In fact, that happened this morning." So,
an ideal hub partner to me is somebody that actually knows what I do every day and cares and communicates, and also understands that the end user of these products is the patient.
They should have mandatory be in the operating rooms to know that, hey, if you miss this screw or this K-wire or this drill, this could happen.
Someone who's all in, willing to do, what they need to do to get the job done, to go above and beyond, and to effectively communicate with myself in regards to, trays and implants and sets.
An ideal hub partner is exactly that. We're partners. We can't succeed as sales reps without working extremely cohesive with the hub and talking to them on a daily basis. I mean, anytime I add a big case, whether it's for the following day or later on in the week, I'm sure to call our hub and make sure that we're on the same page. And if I know it may be something that might be a little difficult to find due to back orders, that's even more of a reason to communicate. And it's the same thing, and I expect the same from our hub, that communication is key.
To me, the most important thing is communication.
confidence that when I show up for a case, I know that the tray's been checked by the hub, everything's going to be in there, and, you know, communication. If something's on back order, I understand that. Just letting me know ahead of time.
An ideal hub partner is someone who can communicate in rep language. I always joke with them and say, I don't understand hub language when I get sent texts that say, we don't have FFT SKB I1-227.
We work together to get this to accomplish the same goals. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about the patient.
To have the ability to change and kind of roll with the punches and understand our rules and regulations, but in real-time emergencies, we need to kind of figure out some emergency measures.
Someone who truly cares about the relationships as much as I do as a rep.